So let's talk about the Battle of Uhud. It's one of those moments in history that's, well, it's not really about who won or lost in the end. It's about something much deeper, a huge lesson in strategy, in faith, and how one single choice can literally change everything.
And that brings us to this crazy paradox, right? How can you be winning and losing at the same time? It's the central question of Uhud. It really makes you dig deeper than just who's fighting who. How could a victory that was right there, practically in their grasp, just slip away? We're going to get into exactly how that went down.
All right, so before anyone even swings a sword, the Muslim army is already being tested. And this isn't about their fighting skills, not yet. This was a test of something else entirely, their resolve, their unity, their core beliefs, really.
So the Quraish commander Abu Sufyan, he tries this classic move, right? Divide and conquer. He sends a message to the Ansar, the local allies in Medina, and the message is basically, hey, you guys don't have a dog in this fight, just stay out of it. But it completely backfired. The Ansar's response was a hard no, and it actually made the Muslim front even stronger.
And if that wasn't enough, they try another mind game. There's this guy Abu Amir, who is known as the monk. He'd actually bailed on his own people in Medina. So he shows up with the Quraish army, probably thinking he's going to get a hero's welcome. No. He gets completely ripped into, just met with insults. And again, this act of treachery, it just made the believers even more resolved. Total backfire.
Okay, so the mind games didn't work at all. So it's time for the physical battle to kick off. And back then, things often started with one-on-one duels. This was like the ultimate stage where you could see a warrior's true character come out.
The first one to step up is the Quraysh standard bearer, a guy named Talha, and he doesn't just issue a challenge, he's openly mocking their faith, their belief in the afterlife. He's basically saying, come on, who's going to send me to the fire, or who's going to let my sword send them to paradise? It was a huge taunt.
And who answers? Ali ibn Abi Talib. He steps forward and essentially throws Talha's own words right back at him, but with this incredible, unshakable faith. You could just feel it. This wasn't trash talk. This was a statement of pure conviction, even staring death right in the face.
And you know what? The duel was over in a flash. One powerful strike from Ali, and Talha, the standard bearer, is down. He's defeated. But the story doesn't quite end there.
So this is where it gets really interesting. Talha is down, totally vulnerable. He begs for his life, and Ali just turns and walks away. You can imagine the people watching, they must have been so confused. Why wouldn't you finish him off? The fight's not over till it's over, right?
Well, for Ali, the reason was crystal clear. The moment his opponent pleaded for mercy and was in such a state of shame, it was a time for compassion, not for a killing blow. It was this incredible act of honor that just shows you there's a code, a moral standard that doesn't just disappear when the fighting starts.
All right, let's shift gears to another key moment from this battle. As the main armies are clashing, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he presents this really unique challenge to his companions. This wasn't just about who was the best fighter. It was a test of total, absolute commitment. He holds up his own sword for everyone to see and asks this profound question. Who will take this sword and fulfill its right? Think about that. He's not just handing over a weapon. This is a covenant. It's a massive responsibility. A bunch of hands go up, people want it, but he keeps asking the question. He's waiting for someone who truly understands what it means.
The man who finally steps up is Abu Dujaanah. Now this guy was a legendary warrior. He was known for this red headband he'd wear, which basically signaled to everyone, I'm ready to fight to the death. He even had this signature move, the strut of war, a kind of confident, swaggering walk that was normally forbidden, but totally okay in battle because it was all about demoralizing the enemy. So Abu Dujaanah takes the sword, ties on that famous red headband, and just charges headfirst into the enemy. He fights like an absolute lion with just this unbelievable ferocity. He was truly fulfilling the right of that sword, and man, he helped turn the tide of the battle, at least in the beginning.
And that right there, that brings us to the turning point. The absolute most critical moment of the entire battle. The Muslims are winning. They're on the verge of a total, decisive victory. But everything, and I mean everything, is about to change because of a single choice made on a little hill overlooking the action. So here's the situation. It's so simple but so profound. There's a group of archers, right? They've been positioned on this hill with one single crystal clear order from the Prophet, peace be upon him. Do not leave your posts, under any circumstances, no matter what happens. But from where they're sitting, they see the enemy army just break. They're running, they're fleeing, and they're leaving behind all this loot, all the spoils of war, just sitting there for the taking.
I mean, just try to put yourself in their shoes. From their perspective, it looks like a total rout. The battle's over. So an argument starts. Does the command still count if we've already won? And that temptation, seeing all that booty just lying there, it was incredibly powerful.
And that was the fatal mistake. Their commander's pleading with them, stay put, but most of them just ignore him. They leave their post, they run down that hill to grab the loot, and in doing so, they leave a huge gaping hole in the Muslim army's flank. It's completely exposed. The fallout from this one decision was so huge, so important, that it was actually documented forever in the Quran. And not just to point fingers, but to serve as this timeless, enduring lesson for all of us, for every generation to come. This verse, it's talking directly about that exact moment on the hill. It's basically saying, look, Allah's promise of victory was coming true. You were winning until that moment, you hesitated, you argued about the command, and you disobeyed because you wanted the stuff you saw down below.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's this. The physical victory was taken away to teach a much, much bigger spiritual lesson. Real victory, true success, isn't just about winning the fight in front of you. It's about obedience, it's about holding firm to the command, no matter how tempting it is to do something else. The distraction of worldly gain, the dunya, led straight to a disaster.
And that really leaves us with a question for ourselves, doesn't it? The story of those archers, it's not just some old history lesson. It's a mirror. It forces every one of us to ask, what's the hill in my life that I'm supposed to be holding? What's the command, the principle, the duty that I have to stick to, no matter how tempting it is to run down and chase after some temporary worldly thing?